Hey everyone, this is the Fiery Joker. So, season 6 and 7. Gonna be honest, not a fan of season 6, so forewarning, I'm gonna be a bit snippy. Same rules apply, 1 to 10, ironic enjoyment, you know the drill. Oh boy. Great, a second studio Alicorno C that's somehow worse. Blurry Heart is more dangerous than Sombra. Really? I'm still not happy about that threatening scene. Yay, more nebulous goals! Here there be dragons! Actual good ones this time. I guess forgiveness doesn't mean anything anymore. I think he just had to be there.
You know you're doing your Pinkie Pie voice, right?
Heh, it's funny because she auditioned to be Pinkie first. How not to talk to the press 101. This is why Rare Jack can't work. Millennials, am I right? We need to work together, but Pinkie is the correct one? See, this is how you give fans a good ribbing. Adults ruin everything. Mysterious mayor duel with complaints addressed. Not really necessary. Hey, maybe spend more than a montage establishing their friendship. Unsure if Discord's charisma modifier is 7 or -1. Nails is the best character. How? There goes my pancreas. And my teeth. And my liver. Would've fooled me too, if I were blind. I am Judy. Welcome to the Sorcerer's Apprentice. What really happened was this thing. What? So what's different? I'm not sure I get this one. Better version of Suicide Squad. Granted, not a high bar. I've been defeated by the power of love again. Both Celestia fanboys. This is everything I've ever wanted. You sure this couldn't have been 2 separate episodes? I still have baby Applejack to squee at. Let's go fly a kite. What is Fluttershy's job? I think the staff are trying to tell Brony something. Such great parents. Disruptiveness aside, the SS Marble Mac took a hit. She's gone down. Asking a non-fashion pony to judge fashion. Seems legit. A mile in my shoes, but with demigods. Yeah, okay. Yak's more empathetic. Yak's do good episode. All right, place your bets. Flutter quarter to Celestia. Who will triumph? Guys, it's not Romeo and Juliet, for the love of declining ratings. Let's have an episode say, screw critics. They addressed Thorax's leadership inexperience. Took them long enough. I thought you said comics weren't canon. Did they just do a war veteran allegory and succeed? If they sign us some Nambula Accords, I'm leaving.
My mane feels lighter already.
That scream is still my text alert. Goofy symptoms poorly distract from body horror. Vincent Tong just can't catch a break. I'm detecting some staff venting here. That's fair. You threw away pie? That's it, time for waterboarding. Did that fucking nerd just diss board games? So those weren't just filler episodes. Could have fooled me. Doom Equestria to save Equestria. Ingenious! And that's it, good frickin' gravy. Here's the document if you want to see. Everything is deliberately placed in the order which I feel it should be. To end on a more positive note, I'm going to alternate starting with worst, then best. Number 5, worst, the times they are a changeling. It was hard to find things to like in this episode. I like the idea of a changeling not falling in line and him maybe striking up a friendship with someone, but you gotta actually show us the friendship part. There's no character development for characters that need the development, especially characters like Shining Armor and Cadence. Also, that song. Enough said. I do appreciate the guard being better in this episode though. Number 5 best, A Hearth's Warming Tale. I did not expect to like this one as much as I did. It was just a Christmas carol with ponies, but they really went the extra mile. The visuals are stunning, the jokes are good, the music is spectacular. There's not a lot you can find wrong with this episode. I want to show it to my kids during Christmas time because I feel it has that timeless staying power. Number 4 worst, No Second Prances. It had a lot of good ideas. I like the idea of Starlight and Trixie becoming friends. I like the idea of Trixie needling Twilight. I like the idea of exploring the struggles of forgiveness. What I don't like is Twilight getting off scot-free for her hypocritical behavior. What I don't like is the continuity errors up the wazoo. What I don't like is Starlight and Twilight getting hit with the idiot stick to serve the plot. What I don't like is oversimplifying Starlight's villainous motivations. What I don't like is turning Celestia into a passive-aggressive brat. Man, this really could have been one of the best episodes of the show. Bummer. Could you tell I grew up in Southern California? Number 4 best, A Royal Problem. Thank you so much, Season 7, for giving us that Celestia episode. Wait. Now you're giving us a Celestia Luna episode, and it features Twilight freaking out and having a productive, creative, fitting, and hilarious use for Starlight's tendency to drop the hammer for solutions? Sign me up! It was nice to see some of the day in the life of a Canterlot princess and to see a bit of the world building as they show us an evil Celestia. Oh, this episode was total fan service, but I don't give a crap. I could watch it over and over. Number 3 worst, flurry of emotions. You know, after making such a big freaking deal about this character and delivering nothing for a whole freaking season, we finally get something to go on. Maybe we can learn more about this baby alicorn and maybe Shining in Cadence, and they're shafted again. Great. So we get a retread of Baby Cakes, and y'all know how much I love that one. Granted, it's slightly better because we don't hear crying 24/7, but does anyone else besides me get the sinking feeling that Flurry Heart could get away with murder? Because there's this weird thing going on in the show with babies and intelligence. No one should yell at a real-life baby for many reasons, one of them being their lack of cognition, but Flurry is clearly smart enough to understand things like right and wrong, and understand speech no less. So when it comes to potentially disciplining someone like her, it's a weird gray area. I mean, Stewie Griffin is the same way, but the inconsistency is part of the joke. This character is just a mess. Number 3 best, Stranger Than Fanfiction, one of the smartest episodes that the show has produced. While it celebrated fandoms, it also ribbed them a little, but it didn't come across as disrespectful or condescending. Unlike that other episode, it took its premise and did nearly everything they could with it, and did something I've never seen a piece of fiction do. Have a character exploit cliches without realizing they're in danger. It also explored the relationship between creator and fan, and even gave a few interesting justifications for why stories sometimes do seemingly illogical or silly things. I mean, it's in the title. Sometimes truth is stranger than fanfiction. Number 2 worst, The Crystalline, parts 1 and 2. This was the worst season opener in all of MLP. Not just because of dealing with the fallout of Starlight's rushed redemption, but because this episode bent over backwards to accommodate this Mary Sue from hell, spent so much time making her super duper important, and she just drops off the planet until season 7. And the only explanation we get for anything is because. Why was Flurry Heart born in Alicorn? Because. Why was Flurry able to break the crystal heart? Because. Why did nothing else break during her scream? Because. Why didn't they just use Cadence's shield to repel the snow when the crystal heart was missing like they did in season 3? Because. There's only so much my suspension of disbelief can take. Oh, and that infamous line from the princesses. Yes, there is an interpretation that keeps the whole born alicorns thing alive, but that clumsy wording of it's beyond their understanding makes the viewers feel like the story and world aren't being treated with care and respect. Remember when the main 6 went adventuring? Or irrelevant? Or did things? They do nothing here. You could take them out of this episode and lose nothing. The show is going the way of Bleach in that there are way too many characters to give time to, keep track of, and hope the audience cares about. When I first watched this episode, it rubbed me the wrong way and I didn't know why, and I finally figured it out. Flurry Heart. Number 2 best, Gauntlet of Fire. So yeah, Spike episodes, not universally loved. Dragons, not universally loved. Putting them together for an episode, universally loved. How does that work? Well, by highlighting more of Spike's positive qualities instead of focusing on his weaknesses for one, showing some other actual good dragons for 2. Heck, even Garble, who everybody hates, had some good moments. This was a rock-solid episode that fixed so many mistakes of the previous seasons. Number 1 worst, Fame and Misfortune. There's taking jabs at your critics, and then there's this mean-spirited, sanctimonious piece of hot garbage. I cannot stand when anything places itself on a pedestal as being above criticism. I remember a while ago, Circuit Byte stood out as one of my editor applicants because I distinctly remember him making a video calling me out on one of my mistakes. That was actually a huge point in his favor for me, someone who wasn't afraid to call me out if I did something dumb. So yeah, I was destined to not like this episode. And the worst part is M.A. Larson being forced to put his name on an episode where he doesn't agree with the messages. Alright, real talk here. Really think about this. Did whoever was in charge really think this was gonna help matters? Was this really a mature reaction on their part? Was this decision to call out their critics with ham-fisted crocodile tears edifying in any way for them or the audience? Really think about that. Number 1 best, The Perfect Pair. Oh, look at this. Josh thinks The Perfect Pair is the best episode of season 8. How original. I bet you're even gonna quote JelloApocalypse, you hack fraud, you sheep. To those people, I say, stuff it. This episode was a huge breath of fresh air that we really needed. For the first time since season 4, it felt like the show seriously cared about the world it set up. And this is done through the excellent vehicle of having other people tell the story. Fans have been begging and pleading since season 1 fun about Applejack's parents. We finally got it. And you know what? It's a good forbidden romance. They interact. They talk. The relationship is built up with a lot of time. Oh, it's so good. So I'm wondering if DHX has the gun has to tell us how they died.
Cut!